What's going on, guys? Jake Teasler with latest Mustang and automotive news. No, we're not going to talk about Mustangs today. We're going to talk about why Andrew Tate is wrong and what you need to know as a young man on how to date. And essentially, it just comes down to this: are your choices making you smaller or larger? Okay, are your choices, the decisions that you're making, who you're dating, if you're going to just spin plates, have multiple dating partners at the same time in order to, the theory is that you're gonna have multiple partners, and let's say you have a Thursday night girlfriend, Saturday night girlfriend, and Sunday night girlfriend, okay? And you're doing this the right way. You're letting them know that you're dating other people, and they know that. You're not trying to hide it from them. That would be the honest, ethical way to do it, right? And the theory is that by having multiple girlfriends that you're sleeping with at the same time, that these people will, for one, you'll have more experience. For two, you'll be less needy because you are getting your needs met from three different people versus one. And then, more is better than less when it comes to women, correct? These are all assumed, presuppositions, okay? So here's the deal. I've done this. Most guys have. Not most, but the guys that are good, that know how to, essentially you have to work the dating apps like a business. You have to get leads, follow up, plan dates, close the deal. That's how business works. That's how dating works. So a lot of times for women, though, they want to, have you ever had a girlfriend after you break up, they say, that was a waste of my time? So what that is they actually they see their life as a line, and you took up some of their years that was good for mating success for children, and you didn't have children with them, and that wasted their young, youthful, fertile years. Now they're over here, they're less fertile, they're less young, they're less likely to find a mate, okay? So here's the deal. Do you think it's making you grow more? Is it a choice where you're growing mentally, spiritually, physically more by dating multiple women at the same time, or by having one deeper relationship? So the pros to having multiple women spinning plates is that you're less needy, and you can tend to be more, I don't think masculine is the right word, more masculine, but you become less needy because if this girl doesn't work out, you have the next one, and then you have the next one, and also women know that you have this confidence about you because you have this one and this one and this one, okay? And if they're dating another guy as well, and he doesn't have a few different ones, you're gonna have a bit of an arrogance to you, a confidence. But here's where I've gotten, and I did this in Los Angeles for on and off, and I did have long-term relationships. I've had a 7-year while I was there in Los Angeles, and then after that I just dated as much as I could for about 2 or 3 years, okay? So here's what I've learned. You spiritually won't grow if you're just dating around and around. And this is why Andrew he's not wrong. He's right about what he's talking about, but he's not going. The young men, like 18-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 24-year-olds that are incels or that don't have a good social life, who are not on the apps, who don't know how to take care of themselves yet, who don't know how to take care of other people. He's trying to protect those people from getting into relationships and getting their heart torn out and becoming resentful to the world, which that'll happen. That's just life. You're gonna have your heart ripped out and put on a platter, and then you're going to become hurt from that, and then you're going to become resentful towards women, and then that's one path. So does that path make you stronger, and then you're just gonna spin plates and treat them all like crap? Okay, is that making you smaller or larger spiritually? Are you having growth with that Or is that just the easiest road to take? The ego, getting upset, resentful, frustrated, and you're living kind of in defensiveness and anger. Are you living in fear or love? If you go that way, it's real obvious, right? Okay, if it's not obvious, let me make it obvious. If you do decide that you're going to take one person and be with them, so if you're dating multiple people and you're in this circle of evolution, you're not going to break out of that circle, because you're not going to have commitment, deep, meaningful relationships, and a future and continuity with all these three people at the same time. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to go 2 years with this person, then 2 years, and 2 more years, and then 8 years with the same three people. What I'm trying to get at, is it making you smaller or larger spiritually, mentally, physically by spinning plates or by having a relationship? And there's not enough conversation about the pros of actually having a relationship. We've blown this out of proportion that, yeah, spinning plates is fine. You probably need to do that once in your life to understand what's going on, but it can become a negative habitual pattern where you're constantly on dating apps, where you're constantly just treating every girl like a disposable thing. And it's not about them. Don't think about how you're treating them. Oh, they're doing the same thing. I hate women. I got my feelings hurt. They slept with my friend, or I went to a party and they slept with my friend, or they cheat. They just do what they want. Their friends are more important than me. I've been through most of that, right? Here's the deal. You just have to have a relationship and deal with it anyways. If you go buy a new car, is it going to get scratched? Is it going to get a door ding? Is it going to break down possibly? Is it going to get a nail in the tire? All that's just going to happen. Just because you buy a new car doesn't mean none of that's going to happen. Same thing in a relationship. Just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean they're not going to cheat. It doesn't mean they're not going to lose interest. It doesn't mean all that. And the mature thing is you're going to commit to that anyways for your own growth. You're not going to learn anything spinning plates. It's a dead end. You're going to get to this. If you're only this big, and then spinning plates makes you evolve that much, you're just going to stay stuck there. You're going to stay about this big for the rest of your life. There's no maturity in that. That's what I'm getting at. If you do find someone you actually like, you'll go like this, and then all these plates will fall off. And you go, you know what? I would rather see this one person and go to the next level and evolve with them. And that's where the evolution is. But we're not having that conversation right now. It's popular to talk about spinning plates and talking about how they treat, interpersonal relationships in the East, maybe through different religions and culturally. And the reality of it, though, is if you actually have a good, healthy relationship, the partner will actually treat you, unless they're brainwashed, which a lot of people are brainwashed here in the West, obviously, but they will treat you and have traditional gender roles, and they will respect you. If you find the right person and you are the right type of person to them, things will sync up. But don't settle for something that is less than optimal for you. So, I'm not saying spinning plates is the worst thing ever, but once you've done it for a year and you understand how to work the game, just spinning plates for 10 years, you're going to be like the 40-year-old. I'm 39 right now. I did that for 3 years. I could do that for another 10 years. I'm not a bad looking dude. I can just get ripped and lose some more body fat and not dress like a 19-year-old, and I could start wearing I could do that and then just hustle women for another 20 years probably. I'm 39, 49. I'm just having a little more gray in my beard. I sound arrogant. I am. I'm bragging, but it's dude, I'm just going to get more jacked and better looking as I get old. I can just hustle, spin plates. Okay. Now, once you find someone that you actually do like, you'd rather go through that and mature and evolve, because there's so many things messed up with you, and you need someone to reflect back and forth. The girls that you're spinning plates with aren't going to tell you that you're an idiot. They're just going to try to keep you close enough without losing you. And unless you have a deep, meaningful relationship, they're not going to help you evolve as a person. So this is what I'm trying to get at. So have the option to have multiple people and maybe do that for a little bit. And you don't even have to sleep with all of them, but it might not be a bad idea to date. Optimally, here's what you do. You'd have like 3 to 5 girlfriends that you would see, and you actually wouldn't sleep with them because then you're getting too connected. And then by having these different people, you are evolving. You're learning how to have a relationship with different type of people. You can date this one over here, then this one over here, then this one over here, and then you're choosing. You get to choose. If you haven't gotten to the point where you can have a couple different people that you're going on dates with, then you're actually not evolving. You don't know what your options are. So you also need to know what your options are. But the dynamic, the masculine and feminine dynamic has to be there. If the masculine feminine dynamic isn't there, you're gonna be very unhappy. I deal with clients all the time that don't have the masculine feminine dynamics, and the male is very unhappy with the relationship because he doesn't feel respected. And that's part of his problem too, because he hasn't made the dynamic right. He hasn't been like, hey, this is messed up. I'm not going to deal with this anymore. We have to figure this out. Instead of getting the feelings hurt and running away and acting emotional, which is feminine, right? You just have to straight up say. So I digress. Point is, there's too much emphasis on spinning plates, and there's not enough emphasis on the evolution that you get from someone telling you you're an idiot, and then you learning how to tell them that you don't like that. See, my thing was I didn't know how to tell people I'm unhappy in this relationship. I don't like when you do that. I don't like when you do that. Maybe I'm crazy, but I really don't like that. And as you talk and talk and talk and talk, and then you also tell the person, hey, you tell me when I'm doing stuff that you don't like, so I can understand. So it's this reciprocal thing where both of you are bouncing and reflecting and communicating, and you're growing and learning and evolving. You're not going to get that from a superficial, come over and have a charcuterie board, whatever it's called, and some wine, which I would do that all the time, right? Have some cheese and wine, come over, and that's that. And it's fun. It's fun, but you're not going to get past a certain level if you don't have the right masculine, feminine dynamics, and you're not in a committed thing with a person, because they're not going to be honest with you. Why would they tell you things that'll make you unattractive? Like, to actually really communicate, you have to be in a committed thing to communicate. So I think that's why, Andrew, it's popular to talk about Eastern dynamics, masculine, feminine, and spinning plates, and girls ain't nothing, and da 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 da. But the reality is that guy actually does really respect the women that he loves, and that respect him, as do I. So a lot of guys are just missing this, and this is kind of a deeper talk, and most people are never going to see this, but this is more of the truth on the streets from a real person who's done all that stuff. You're only going to evolve so much from these spinning plates, and there's a lot more personal, mental, physical, spiritual evolution by committing and choosing someone to grow with that will reflect back your imperfections and how to look. If you don't have anyone to tell you you're an idiot, you're just going to be an idiot. I trained this lawyer once who was like 55. He had a Porsche, brand new 2022 Porsche, the 991.2 Carrera S with the Turbo S wheels with the aero package. It was like $150,000 car. He was still dating. This was in LA. He was still dating basically call girls, and then he shows up and he's like 60, and he's just like a 30-year-old, basically his maturity level is so low because he's just been hooking up constantly on the dating apps with just bimbos. He's just, and I hate to say it like that, but it's just like, I think they literally were call girls. And then he pushed her. He showed up one day and he said, I pushed her out of the apartment. And then she said, I hit her, but I didn't. I just pushed her because of this and that. So he's just in these crazy, crazy relationships. And is that making him larger or smaller? And that's the question I want to get to at the end of the day. Are your choices in life making you expand and grow and larger, and you're facing your fear of commitment and da-da-da-da-da? Of course it's not going to work. Of course it's not going to be easy. It might even fail, probably will. This doesn't matter. So you just stay there, right? You just stay. Let's just drive Toyota Camry every single day and do this one thing every single day and not evolve, and you're bored and you're depressed. If you can be happy like that, that's fine. But you might want to, if you're curious about something, you might want to explore it, take a risk, see what you learn from it. We're trying to grow here, right? You're trying to grow and learn and learn and learn. So thank you for watching, and leave me a comment if any of this resonates for you. I'm taking on one more coaching client for health, wealth, business, basically make money, feel good, look good, all that stuff. Leave a comment below. I'll catch you in the next video.